The next one would be a joint session by Mr. Raghunath Reddy and Mr. Abhijit Phatak. Mr. Raghunath has been trading Nifty Index and stock futures and options for past several years. He has an active interest in developing trade software applications focused on analyzing and generating trade ideas and opportunities in the futures and options segments. Coming from a life science and bioinformatics research background, he uses same philosophy to actively do research on various trading and investing methodologies, including testing of several momentum strategies, option strategies, pair trading, and harmonics. He is the brain behind the options platform Opstra, which has been totally conceived and implemented by him. Mr. Abhijit Phatak has been studying and trading on the basis of charts since almost 20 years. He has developed a unique method of identifying what the market is up to on the basis of charts of options and also straddles, OI of options and put call ratio at various strike prices. He has observed on many occasions how options charts have a different story to tell, sometimes exactly opposite to what the charts of the underlying is showing. Almost all the techniques have been developed on his own by observing them over the years, and many of the techniques that he uses are not found in any textbook of technical analysis. He conducts sessions on his observations that have been well received by participants. They will be speaking on the concept of the indicator TOI. I would now like to hand over to them.
Hello everyone, welcome to this next session of eDecnoc 2021. Today, for this session, we don't have any guest from outside. It is internal speakers because we decided that we will again speak on the TOI concept because ever since we launched it few months back, a lot of people have been asking a lot of questions, and we thought it's better to again revise the concepts. So though most of the things are the same, which we had already recorded in the videos, there is a recorded video by me and Raghunath on Insight, and there is another video recorded by me on Insight again. One is on Opstra, the other is on TradePoint. But let us go through all the basics once again. So this is the basic rule for using TOI. In TradePoint, you will get this window when you click on line open interest. So the first one is symbol, which you have to add as Nifty, let's say. Then the second one is expiry. This comes by default. The immediate expiry comes by default. The strike price also comes by default, but in case the strike has changed in the next, in the first 15 minutes of that day, you'll have to change it to the at the money strike price as per Nifty spot, which is the at the money near 9:30 a.m. So you'll have to just change it by introducing from this menu. Strike difference will continue to be 50 for Nifty. Number of symbols. This is a gray area where a lot of people have asked questions. Now, what happens is in a new expiry, a weekly expiry, which starts on Friday. What happens is sometimes weekly options for the new expiry have not traded much in the earlier expiry. Majority of the volume and the open interest is for the current expiry till Thursday. And what happens is after Friday, it takes some time for the OI build up in the new expiry. So sometimes it happens that the number of symbols from 6 has to be made 3 for Friday, and sometimes even on Monday. Otherwise, you will not get a good plot of the TOI, and people say that it is not plotting well or it is not plotting at all. So try changing it from 6 to 3, especially on Fridays and sometimes on Mondays. From Monday afternoon onwards, the 6 is possible, because then in those last 2 days, Friday and Monday, a lot of build up in the OI has already happened. So this is something which needs to be kept in mind: 6 and 3. If 6 is not plotting well, change it to 3. This is how it looks on Opstra. In Opstra, again by default 6 comes. So this you have to change to 3 over here. For stocks, this is another thing where people have a lot of questions. What we have observed is the best number to use for number of strikes is 2 for stocks. So instead of that 6 or 3, always use 2 for stocks. And again, which stocks? It has to be stocks which are, I mean, that we have a list in Opstra, but otherwise, sometimes what happens is it doesn't plot well. So it usually works well with the good, I mean, the stocks which have a very liquid options chain across at least 4 5 different strike prices. When I say 4 5, I mean the at the money plus 3 4 out of the money for the call, and 3 4 out of the money for the put. So across these 7 8 strike prices, whenever the OI is well, I mean, populated, for those stocks only it can be used. I mean, it might not work for a stock like, let's say, UPL or McDowell. I'm not saying it won't work, but sometimes it won't work. But it works beautifully on frontline stocks like Reliance, Maruti, Tata Steel, TCS, SBI, Axis Bank, ICICI Bank. All these frontline stocks, it works very well. So the main thing is, instead of 6, use 2 here. So how to interpret? So this is again the basics. In desktop trade point, add the indicator double moving average with the default parameter, which is 10 and 30 EMAs. TOI is the green line. The other two lines, which are the red and orange, are the moving averages. Those moving averages are not for a moving average crossover method or something. They are just to act as a guiding method on where the TOI is moving. Because if you don't add the moving averages, it can be a bit subjective where TOI is going. So that's why moving averages are useful. What happens is, when the green line is above the two moving averages, the trend is bullish. When I say trend, that means TOI is bullish and the trend of the underlying is bullish, whichever stock or index you are using the TOI for. When the green line is below the two moving averages, the trend is bearish. As simple as that. These are the two basic rules which need to be followed. But this is, again, I repeat, a lot of people have again asked this question: does it mean that you should go short or long immediately when you see this? That is a gray area which a lot of people have faced problems and got whipsaws. So what happens is, for that to get a confirmation, you need to understand the next set of rules. Once a fresh signal is seen on TOI, check the options charts. When I say option chart, it is advisable to check both the call and the put. So let's say we are at, for example, Nifty 17,500, which we are plotting at 9:30 in the morning, and TOI gives a buy signal. So plot the 17,500 call, plot the 17,500 put, even on 1% for that weekly expiry. So let's say if you are doing it on Monday, it will be 7th October expiry. If TOI is bullish, this is extremely important. If TOI is bullish, PE chart should be bearish. That is something which a lot of people don't do, and then they say that it has given whipsaws, because the call will be bullish only when the put is bearish. That is something, I mean, we are looking at momentum here, right? So if the call is bullish, sometimes it happens that, of course, both can never be bullish. Sometimes it happens that both are not exactly bearish also. I mean, both can be bearish, but sometimes both cannot be bullish at all. And one might be bearish, the other one might not be bullish. So that also shows that the momentum might not come. Because if you are looking at going long in a call or a put, you need momentum. So if the PE chart is bearish and the TOI is bullish, and then look for any buy trigger on the call chart. When I say buy trigger, it can be a turtle breakout or a triple top buy or a double top buy. You can also use candle levels, which I have explained in another video, which is there on Insight, and that is good enough. Of course, you can use moving average on the point and figure chart. Another thing which I have also observed, which a lot of people are also using, you can also plot a candlestick chart of the option and use a 5 or a 15-minute chart, time frame chart, and add either a super trend or must on it, and that itself is a good signal with the TOI supporting. Similarly, if the TOI is bearish, the call chart should be bearish, and then look for any buy trigger on the put chart. So this is exactly reverse of the first example. Another thing which I have seen over the last 6 8 months is, after a big trend, there are chances of a whipsaw in TOI. In case of a reversal from bullish to bearish, something which happened on 27th September. It went to 17,930, 940, and then started coming down. Over the first couple of days, it was sort of sideways. In case of a reversal from bullish to bearish, and in spite of a whipsaw, if the ATM PE does not break the recent series low, that is a sign that the trend is changing. What I mean is, for example, what happened on 27th September? Nifty had made a high of 17,935 or something on 26th. On 27th also, it made a similar high, and it looked like it is becoming bullish. But at the same time, TOI was always bearish, and the put did not break the previous day's low. If TOI is bullish, the put chart should be bearish, and then look for a, sorry, this line has got repeated. It is very important to keep an eye on the chart of the underlying when a trend is likely to reverse based on TOI. Because many people who trade only options, they don't bother to look at the underlying chart. That also has a story to tell. So even if you want to trade options, you have to keep an eye on the chart of the underlying. It is possible that the CURP might break the recent low also sometimes, but the underlying makes a lower high. This happened at the recent high near 17,940. That is why I gave that example. For example, this is what happened on 27th September. On 24th, Nifty had made a high which was near 17,940. Then on 27th, in the morning, TOI gave a buy signal. This was a buy, no doubt about it. But at the same time, Nifty did not make a higher high. It went to that 17,940, 945. I mean, within 5-10 points of the previous high, and then started coming down. And immediately within the next 5 minutes, TOI just started sliding down fast. At the same time, the put did not break the previous day's low also. So that was a sign that market is reversing. So if anyone was looking only at this TOI, they would have said the call has given a whipsaw. Fine, this was a whipsaw on the call, no doubt. But the put did not break the recent low, and that the TOI immediately turned down. So that is a time when you have to be alert and flexible enough to change direction immediately, because after that everyone knows from all the way from 17,950, Nifty has now come down to 17,450 yesterday in just 3 days. Now this is about what I discussed was about indices. Another way of looking at TOI is on a positional basis. Now this is the open TOI of Reliance for the 30th September expiry from the beginning of September. You can see on the x-axis 30th August, 1st September, 2nd September, and the blue line everyone knows which is on Astra is the futures price. So that is the futures chart. So this TOI was going down initially. That always happens at the beginning of an expiry. That is something which I have seen always. Even though Reliance was bullish, the TOI initially is a bit sliding down, sort of bearish. But the futures chart did not give any sell signal. It was a flat kind of chart. Then what happened on 2nd September around midday, just after lunch, was this immediately jumped up. Now here you can see Reliance was always near 2300. It was not I mean, the futures did not jump up immediately, but there was a lot of activity in the options, and because of which this jumped up, and that was a sign that now Reliance is likely to gain momentum. So that was the first buy signal from the TOI interpretation, and then Reliance went all the way to I think 2460 or something. Now after that, what happened? Though this is a 2300 TOI, which was the case ATM near 2nd September, what happened was Reliance went all the way to 2460 here, and then started coming down. It came down from 2460 to I think 2380 or something. So that was a chance where 2460 TOI gave a sell signal. So it was very clear from that Reliance is not rising immediately. So that was a sign to either book Reliance or maybe even go short. But if you look at this TOR of the 2300 strike price, that always remained in buy. Yes, this was 150 points in the money that time, but this never gave a sell signal, which this is a good sign. I mean, this is something which you can use for positional trades. Though Reliance gave a sell signal over here, it was only a short term sell signal. That is the interpretation. because the lower strike price, which is in the money, did not give a sell signal on the TOI, which meant that Reliance is likely to turn up soon. And as you can see here on the chart, on I think 16 September, I'm not sure the date exactly, it might be 16 September or something, it immediately started going up, and all the way from 2380, it crossed the previous high. It went to more than 2500. So this is an example how you can look at TOI for a positional analysis. Now, if you look at how to trade it, there is a very simple technique, of course, on point and figure charts, which I'll show shortly. This is a 15-minute chart of Reliance futures, and I have added must to it, must signal. So this is the initial stage when Reliance was sideways. The TOI was going down from end of August till 1st and 2nd of September. This price was stable and above the must indicator. On 2nd September, when TOI gave a buy in the which I showed in the previous slide, Reliance started going up. So you can see on the y-axis, Reliance was near slightly below 2300 when this gave a buy signal, and it went all the way to 2460 or 2480. And then when TOI of 2470 gave a sell, this Reliance futures started giving whipsaws. So that was one sign to either hedge your position or maybe buy a put or get out of the long, or whatever is the preferred trading style. That is something which depends on the individual temperament. On a point and figure chart, this is exactly what happened around that 1st September, on the left hand side. It gave a turtle breakout around the same level naturally, and then after that, it went all the way to 2480, which went very fast. In fact, that time Reliance did that in hardly 3 4 days, I think, a big 170-point move. So this is the Reliance PNF chart. Another stock which also I want to give as an example is Tata Steel, which more or less was sort of sideways in the first almost 2 weeks of the September expiry. Now here you can see all the way from August. Of course, you need not look at this August part, but once the September expiry started, this TOI was giving buy and sell signals continuously. Here it gave a buy signal, but look at the futures chart. It was more or less sideways. So it was a clear chance of getting whipsawed. In fact, what happened later also is very clear. It went up and made a new high near 1480 or something, and then came down, not slightly below 1480, and then came down immediately. Now, what happened in the candlestick chart? This is exactly how it gave a whipsaw because the TOI was not smooth. And then finally, when it made a new high near 1470, you can see here, this is a good case of a divergence. I'll show the previous chart first. In TOI, it made a new high, but here in futures, it had not crossed the previous high decisively over the next couple of days. And then TOI started coming down immediately. And then this sell signal near something like 1450 went all the way down to 1250, which is a 200-point fall in Tata Steel. So even though you get whipsaws like this, once you get a trend, you can get a good trade. On a point and figure chart, this is how it, of course, this is a 0.15% on a 1 minute chart. So these are the whipsaws which even a point and figure chart gave in the first couple of weeks of September. And then finally, you have a anchor column here. And then you have all the full slide from 1460 to 1250. And then, of course, after that, it went again sideways. So yes, it gives whipsaws because finally the market is all about whipsaws and handling them, and there is no stock which can be trending continuously on a day-to-day basis. There are stocks which give trending moves. I mean, I can say very safely that every stock gives at least one trend in any expiry. It is very very rare that a stock just gives whipsaws throughout the expiry. It is almost, I would say, of course, impossible is a strong word, but extremely rare. Even if you take ITC, for example, which, I mean, apart from the last 3 weeks of move, it was sideways. Even then, it used to give a 3 to 5% move, let's say from 205 to 220, something like that. So that also happens. It's just that you have to be aware of what is happening and then trade that move. So this is TOI Tata Steel positional basis. So any comments, Raghunath, or you can take over now?
Yeah, the only comment I wanted to do was that TOI is a kind of a trend following system basically.
Yeah.
So if you look at those TOI and the price action, they're almost follow very close to each other. There will be some divergences here and there, but it's a good confirmatory signal from from the price chart. Apart from the price chart, so TOI
Yeah.
signal is a very good confirmation to take any particular trade, whether long trade or a short trade. And
Yeah.
the main problem with any trend following system is that there is this whipsaws.
Right.
So so to handle this kind of thing, you could do different kind of option strategies and all those things. But today I'm going to show
Yeah, just 1 minute. Let me just say a simple last line before you take over. What I
yeah,
also wanted to show here was, I mean, a lot of people think that since TOI is based on options, you need to trade only options. That is not the case. For example, here I have not showed any option chart today. What I have showed is how you can take help of TOI and trade futures. That is also possible. I gave two examples: Reliance as well as Tata Steel, one bullish and one bearish, and of course there were a couple of whipsaws. So it is useful in trading futures as well. It is not that you have to trade options only.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now you can take over.
So now, as I was saying, uh, that you can use different strategies to trade the TUI. Now, it can be in futures, it can be in options. In the options itself, there are different strategies. But uh, today I'm going to talk about how I trade Nifty using TUI and how you can handle those whipsaws. Now, when the market is whipsawing, how you can, avoid losses and maybe you will not make profit when it is sideways, but at least you will avoid losses. And I'm going to contrast and compare two strategies, and I'll show why you have to follow. You can follow one strategy over the other strategy. So this is a good example on how to trade Nifty. And obviously,
Okay.
you can develop your own method in trading the stocks. There, it might be slightly different from the Nifty because there is ample liquidity in Nifty compared to
Right.
stocks or even Bank Nifty. So, this is my method that I use in my trading. So, if you find this interesting, you can make this as a basis and develop something similar with the stocks or even with the Bank Nifty. So simple rules of TOI trading in Nifty. So you can use 5 minutes or 15 minutes depending on if you are doing intraday or positional. If you are doing intraday, use 5 minute time frame, and if you are using positional trading, you are going to do use 15-minute time frame. Now we are going to do only use weekly options to plot the TOI and the 10 and 30 EMA using the at the money strike with 4 to 6 strikes. Now, as API already pointed out that on Friday you will not see that much liquidity. So sometimes you have to reduce from 6 to 4 or even 3 sometimes. So this is something you have to follow. Otherwise, the plotting may not be that good with the TOI because there is not ample liquidity to use 6 strikes on the upside and downside for both put and call options. So it is important that on Friday at least if with 6 strikes it's not good the plot, then use 4 strikes within Nifty.
Yeah.
Now uh, so my trading when I do this TOI trading is always from Friday to Thursday. Okay,
Just one
but
thing,
I
Raghunath.
begin. Yeah,
I just wanted to add something. Another thing which people need to keep in mind is, for example, let's say till Thursday, Nifty has gone till 14,700.
yeah,
And it has not gone to 14,700 at all in the last 10 days. That was the first time it has gone to 14,700 on Thursday. So what
yeah,
happens is when Friday starts, the new weekly expiry has doesn't have any build up in the 14,700, 800, 900, and
exactly.
18,000 options. So it also
Agree.
depends on what trading range is of Nifty. If it is, for
Yeah.
example, now for next week, if you look at even let's say 17,700, it might still come out good because Nifty has been trading there last week only.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. See, basically, this is a function of how the option chain is constructed. If at the money strike, after on the both sides of the at the money strike, if there is good liquidity on both sides, then you don't have problem with using six strikes. But when you don't have that build up, then you have to reduce those strikes to four or three.
correct.
So the trading setup is that for positional trading is that every Friday using the weekly options, right? So I started at 9:30 a.m. Okay, so you have 15 minutes of build up of options and also some price action on the Nifty. So at 9:30 I look at TOI whether it's above at 10 and 30 EMA or below that 10 and 30 EMA. If it is above, then I buy call option or sell put option if it is bullish, right? And if it is below, if the TOI is below 10 and 30 EMA, it is bearish. So I either I buy put option or sell call option. Now you might be asking why buy or why sell? Okay. Now I buy the options when the VIX is below 14 and sell options when the VIX is above 14. Now when the VIX is below 14, your options premiums are very low. So if you buy the options, even if there is sideways action, you'll not lose much from the theta depreciation, right? Because there is the premiums are already very low. But if you buy options above 14 or 15, 16, then your premiums are very high. So if the market is sideways, you might lose your premiums and you might go into loss immediately if there is sideways action in the underlying. So that is the reason we buy options when it's below 14, the VIX, and we sell options when the VIX is above 14. So once this sell, so let's say you're in a particular trade, okay, bullish trade. So you bought a call option or sold a put option. So once the signal reverses means if you're in a buy position, and if the TUI goes below 10 EMA and 30 EMA, so the signal has reversed, right? So at this point of time, you have to exit that position, whether it's a long call option or short put option, right? That you have to exit, and then you have to enter a new position. In this case, you have to buy a put option or sell a call option. So it is a kind of SAR trading, right? Stop and reverse.
Yeah, proper.
Because the signal has reversed, so you're stopping your early position and you're entering a new position. So once the signal reverses, and if the market has moved from its earlier levels, let's say you took this position when the money strike was at 17,700, and when it has reversed and the strike has the money strike is now at 17,500, then you have to change your TOE plot from 17,700 at the money strike to 70,500 at the money strike. Because if you don't change that strike, you may not get proper plotting of TOI. Okay,
Correct.
so once you change that position, when you stop and reverse, always change your the at the money strike and plot a new TOI strike. Now you have to keep on rinse and repeating, stop and reverse, and change the at the money strike and plot a new
One
TOI strike.
one question, Raghunath.
Yeah,
You said below VIX 14 you can buy options. That's fine. So let's say Nifty gives a buy signal at 17,400 and VIX is below 14. You buy the 17,500 400 call. And
yeah,
let's say Nifty goes to 17,700. That's fine. You can still hold a 17,400 call even though it is deep in the money. That's fine. My question
yeah,
was on the other end. If VIX is above 14 and you have sold a put, let's say you have sold 17,400 put and
Okay.
then VIX Nifty goes to 17,700. That put will
Hmm.
be like a negligible. I mean, 10, 15 rupees or something. Do you still
Yes.
hold that, or you change the strike price?
So at that point of time, if you're already in profit, what you can do is that you can move your option
Right.
slightly closer to money, closer to at the
Okay.
money. So that's how you follow, because when you are selling an option, you're already limiting your profit,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So what you can do is that simply move your strike so that you get some more premium there.
Yeah,
So
because
simply
what has
you're
happened is
following the direction.
over the last few weeks we have got big trending moves in both
Yeah.
directions, up as well as down. So you need to
Yes.
change the strike price, book one and then go to the other one.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. So now another thing. So you have to repeat this whole scenario. You have to rinse and repeat till Thursday expiry. Okay. We are doing till from Friday to next Thursday, and then again you repeat. Friday, Thursday, like that. So you always keep a hard stop loss on each trade. For example, you say you have 4,000 as your stop loss, and the once that is hit, for that week you close that position. So you will not trade anymore that position, and you wait for the next Friday. Okay, and also when you do this buy option or sell option, always keep this, because you never know that you might have some freak trades that has been happening recently. So if you, for example, if you have sold an option, so always have a stop loss, hard stop loss of 4K, no matter what, so that you avoid these, freak trade losses. So don't put a hard stop loss without any trigger and all those things. Simply put 4K. So it has to be a limit, not a market one. It has to be a limit
Yeah.
stop loss. All right. Now let's look at an example. So now what I will do is that let's look at the last expiry, that 30 September expiry, right? So let's go to 30 September.
When Nifty came down from 17,900. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the Nifty 30 September, so when was the Fridays? Friday was around, is on 24th, right?
24th. Yeah.
We start on 24th, like here at 9:30 we will follow. So I'm
Yeah.
using 15 minutes. Okay. So here around 9:30, right? 9:30 it's
Yeah.
above, so it is 17,900. So we have to use 17,900 as our strike price, at the money strike price, because around 24th 9:30 it was around 17,900. So now this is a buy. So now first I will show with a long call option. Okay, so now we go to 24th 9:30. We buy a at the money call option in this case.
17,900. Yeah.
Yeah, 17,900. So always avoid buying this 50 strikes, because there is a chance of freak trade and all those things. Okay, so now
So
we
you'll
got,
buy 50 point to avoid 50s, you'll buy one strike lower, in the sense one strike in the money, right?
yeah, you
Make it
can in
100.
the money, or the little bit out of the money is also fine.
Okay.
So now the next stop and reverse signal came on September 24th 12:45. Okay, so we'll go directly there, 12:45. Okay, so at
Yeah.
12:45 you are already in loss.
Right.
So now you exit. So remember our stop loss is 4,000. Okay, so now where is the market at when it has reversed? It's still around 17,900. See, because it is sideways, we lost money. So now we have to buy a put option. around the same time. Okay, 50 delta, so 17,900 we buy. Okay, now let's look when the next signal came. So the next signal came on 29th 230, September
But by
29th.
that time, Nifty had gone to below 17,700.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
So September 29, 230. So we do go directly to September 29, 230. Okay,
Yeah.
so we are still in loss because it was sideways. 147.5. Okay, now so we buy this reverse signal. So we have to just follow whatever it is saying. So at this point of time, because the strike price has changed, we have to go to 17,700. So it's around
Right.
17,000. Actually, this is around when it has happened 17,000. Yeah, 230, 17,800. So we go to 17,800, 30th September. All right. So around to 230. And the next, so here we buy a call option. And the next signal came at 315. So first we buy call option at the money call option. Okay. So at 315 we got a exit, right? Reverse. Okay, here again we lost 26.85. So this is the issue when it is very, it whipsaws a lot. This is the problem. So now again we got reverse at 315. So we buy a put option. 50 delta put option. So 17,700 we buy. So what has happened the next after this? So the reverse came around 3. So it's almost close to expiry. So at 3 we will stop. Let's say 315. So how much you didn't get? The loss is around 2,000. So this is with only long options when the IV is around 18. Okay, 15 to 18, something like that. So now if you do the same with the selling options, instead of buying, we sell the options, right? We got a long call on 24th September around 9:30, right? So instead
Right.
of buying option, we sell a put option here, 17,900. We sell a put option. Okay. At 12:45 it has changed, right? So at
Yeah.
12:45 it has changed. So we'll go to 12:45. So 12:45 we didn't lose much because we sold. Even if it is sideways, we are not going to lose much. That's the advantage of this. Now at this point of time, it gave a sell signal TOI. So instead of buying a put option, we are going to sell a at the money call option.
Mm.
So here again here this 17,900 or 17,800. We sell call option. Okay. So the next came at 29th 230. So we go direct to 29 230. The next signal, buy signal. Sorry. Okay. At 230 we are in profit now. So now we exit this. It's the same trade, but we just change the structure. That's all. Instead of buying, we are selling because the VIX is very high. Okay, now at this point of time, now we got a buy signal on the TOI, right? So instead of buying call option, we sell
Put
at the
option.
money put option. And then we got at 3:15, we got the again the reverse signal,
Reversal.
reversal. So here we lost hugely here because the gamma is very high on the last week of expiry. So the changes, if any changes, they'll be very fast on that last day, right? So now again we got reversal. So again we sell at the money call option, right? So this one 17,700 we sell. Okay, so next day we exit at the next day around 3:15. Okay, so now we are sitting on a profit of 5,400. So earlier there was around 2,000 plus loss, but here we got a 5,400. That's the difference between buying options and selling options. And that is the reason I said that you have to buy options when the VIX is below 14 and it's above 14, you have to always buy, you have to sell options instead of buy options. So a few things that you have to keep in mind when you're doing this. Now, when you sell an option, there is a risk of unlimited loss when there is a gap up the next day. If you are doing a positional trading, right? So that you have to keep in mind. If you see a loss of 4,000, you just simply exit the trade, no matter what. Even if it is a gap down
You
or
can
gap.
also maybe just to be on the safe side, you can also maybe buy protection at 3:25 p.m. every day and exit it at 9:30 a.m. the next morning, right?
Yeah, that is also
If there is
possible.
no big gap.
Yeah, that is also possible. There is no issue. But the problem there might be is that sometimes if you're in a trend, you get the huge trend in the gap up.
Then you
So if
lose in
you
the
hedge,
protection side.
yeah. So you lose because of protection, you lose, all
Yeah.
that thing. So yeah, it depends. If you are somebody who's very cautious and don't want to take any risk, instead of buying protection, you just do it with buy options,
Yeah.
long call or long put options. Okay. Now another thing when you're selling options is that your margin requirement is high. So there you might have to put up to 1.2 lakhs and some MTM. So imagine that you're putting at least 1.4 lakhs for doing this strategy by selling options. But with the long options, your capital requirement is very less, depending on how much capital requirement is there on Friday, or it keeps on changing right throughout the week. So your capital requirement could be anywhere around, depending on IV, it could be around 5,000 to 10,000 max.
Yeah. And that will reward very well in a trending when there is a big trend like
Yes,
what we see,
yes,
except for the last 3 4 days. I mean,
yeah,
yesterday's gap down was a strange thing. Strange in the sense it came out of the blue. But
yeah,
overall, in the last 15 days, we saw good trends. I mean, bullish trends where even long options would have paid.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to keep those things in mind. And that's why I said that there are different kinds of strategies that you can use. For example, Bank Nifty might need some different strategy, maybe a spread instead, a wide spread instead of a short option or just buy option. You might need a wide spread. Uh, okay, could be a different strategy for the different things. So as you can see here, this is how you can withstand the whipsaws if the market is sideways or when the IVs are very high. Then you use this strategy. This is only for Nifty. Okay, so you have to test your own strategy if you're going to use some other underlying. Now, the same way, what we will do for 23rd expiry as well with the by selling options. So 23rd expiry means on 17th we are going to do this strategy. So on 17th in the morning, the price was around 17,700. So what we will do, we will use 17,700 of 23rd expiry, 23rd September expiry. So this is on 17th, right? 15 minutes. So here, At 9:30, what is the signal? It's a buy signal, bullish, right? So we are going to sell a at the money put option. So here 23rd. So 9:30, we are going to sell at the money put option because the signal was buy. So we can sell 17,800 put. Okay. Now the exit, the reverse happened at 11:45. Okay, 11:45. So we go till 11:45. Okay, so you lost around 1100. So we exited this trade 161.15. Okay, the IV is still above 14 here, and then here this signal has reversed. So we are going to short at the money, put up
Call.
the call option now, right? So here it's a very straightforward. You are not thinking too much here. Okay, and then let's look at when is the next signal came. The next signal came September 21, 2:30. Okay, the reverse signal. So we go till that time, September 21, 2:30. Okay, so here you are sitting on a profit. So you exit this trade 24, and then you enter a short put option. Short put option here. Okay. Now let's check the signal here. So around 2:30, what was the price? Around 17,500. So 2:30, you got this thing, right? So and from after that, you got signal all the way. You never got signal. So till expiry now. So
Yeah.
you wait till expiry. You do. So now once this has moved, you have the chance to move your strike from
Right.
17,500 put to 17,600 if you want. Because if the maximum profit you're not reached your maximum profit, but you can change if you want here. That's a one possibility, but I'll let it be just to keep it simple. So we go to till next week expiry, right? So now as you can see, we got all the profit that was possible. But if you have shifted this, if I go back to the 2:30 on 21st, right? So let's say we move forward. Okay, let's say next day. So here, if you wanted to shift here, for example, the next day, 28.65, and then buy a short 17,600 put. Okay, so now you get to 2,000 more profit because you have shifted your strike. So as you can see, AP, by simply following TOI signals without doing anything fancy, and even in whipsaws you can withstand any drawdown that you might get because you are selling an option. So if
Right.
there is any, so you also get the benefit of theta depreciation if the market
Correct.
is sideways, and you're always staying in the direction of the market. And by doing this, you reduce your drawdown, and you're always staying on the profit side. It's as
Correct.
simple as. So that is all from me, AP.
Yeah, in this strategy, there might be one doubt which people might have that instead of just shorting naked, maybe let's say they have shorted 17,600 call. Maybe they can buy an out of the money like 17,800 call, which is maybe just 15-20 rupees just to reduce the margin. At the same time, have protection. Of course, your profitability will reduce, no doubt.
Yes, yes. I mean, for example, let's say you are getting to the last week of expiry. When the premium is very cheap, then you can buy some protection if you want.
Correct. Yeah.
There is a possibility. As I said, there are multitudes of strategies that you can use, to take advantage of TOI. I'm just showing that what I'm using currently, both with buy options as well as sell options. And the condition is to switch based on the wicks. When it is below
Yeah.
14, when the premiums are low, buy options. When the premiums are high, when the above wicks 14, then you sell options. As simple as that. Now you can use spreads. You can use, for example, there was another strategy that I was thinking of was you can use skewed strangles.
Yeah.
So, for
It's
example,
like a
instead of,
directional strangle.
yeah, it's like a directional strangle. So you can benefit from both non-direct the whipsaws as well as direction. So because it will also give more protection than simply just a short option with your
Right.
strangle. So as I said, you try different kind of strategies around this, but just follow the TOI signal. Now, if you are an intraday trader, use 5 minutes, but there you have to shift your you have to keep switching from one strike to other strike, switching from call option to put option, call option, put option. You might have more frequent trades, but if
Yeah.
you use 15-minute, you get nice positional signal, and maybe depending on how much whipsaws it gives, you will get not more than two or three changes. And if it is very good trend, you hardly get any change in the switch between put and call option.
Right.
So yeah, so that's all from me.
Yeah, I think definitely this is going to be helpful for people who want positional because I mean, a lot of people have been saying that TOI is only intraday. Now, Raghunath has shown very interesting method to trade on a positional basis also.
Yes.
Even I showed how you can look at stocks for that, how Reliance gave a positional buy and Tata Steel initially was sideways, then gave a positional short. So TOI is just a tool to understand the trend. That is something which you need to keep at the back of your mind. It's not a trigger to buy or sell immediately. First, you have to look at the direction of the TOI and then go to the decide which strategy you want to adopt and then
Yeah.
trade that. So whether it is naked futures, naked options, buying options, or selling spreads or any other strategy like Raghunath said, even directional strangle. That is something which a lot of people don't know how to do it because what happens is in a non-directional strangle it is typically equidistant from each other. Here you
Yeah.
are taking it towards the side of the uh, trend. So that's why it
Yeah.
becomes a directional triangle.
So
So
for example,
thanks, Raghunath. And yeah, sorry, you were saying
yeah.
something?
So I just want to show if somebody don't know what is a directional strangle.
Yeah.
So for example, here 17,500 is at the money. So instead, what you can do is that, so let's say it's a bullish signal. Then what you do is
Mhm.
that you sell 17,200 put, and you keep this of 18,200. Then this becomes directional strangle. So here you are giving more room on the upside.
Right.
If it's a bullish signal, as a
So
bearish
for
signal, you do more on the
what
downside.
it means is the put short is only 300 points out of the money, but the call short is
Yes.
700 points out of the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you everyone. Hope you have understood what we wanted to say. In case you have questions, our email IDs and Twitter handles have been given at the bottom of the last slide of the presentation. And let's see how you can implement it. Thank you and bye bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
That brings us to an end of the 2-day eTechnog 2021, and we hope you have enjoyed the thoroughly informative sessions. And now you can use the knowledge gained in your trading and investing journey in future.